Hello Hanji Kidan, what's up people? Back with another video, and today we're previewing Ipswich Town versus Crystal Palace. Before we get into anything though, we got to do the shout outs. Massive shout outs to Angel Care Homes for all your care needs in the Black Country and Birmingham area. Massive shout outs to Mark Darcy for all your formal menswear needs. And of course the Desi Ballers, highlighting all South Asians at all levels in the beautiful game. I'll put their details in the description, so make sure you check them out. And if you're brand new here, or if you ain't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn the notifications on. And of course, put your thoughts on the comments as well. It helps with all that YouTube voodoo to get us higher up in the searches, so more and more people can see this content. We want to hit 5k subscribers by the end of the season. We had a few subscribers over the weekend, so big up all you legends. But there's a lot of you guys that are watching it that ain't subscribed, so now is the time to subscribe. The content is free. We don't charge you a penny. Obviously, if you want to support, you can by using the Ko-Fi link in the description below. But to watch all these videos, all of that goodness, it's all completely free. There's no paywall here. So yeah, man, let's try and get 5k subscribers by the end of the season. And if we do, you never know, we might be doing a special interview with a special someone. But let's get to it then. So over the years, Ipswich Town versus Crystal Palace, a lot of those fixtures have happened in the Championship or the old Division 1. In terms of head-to-head, Ipswich have won 32 games. There's been 24 draws and 27 wins for Crystal Palace. So Town, we're ahead in that kind of head-to-head there. But over the last 5, we've only beaten once in the last 5 meetings. And the last time we did play them, you've got to go back to August 2017. That was in the Kebab Cup away at Palace, and Town fielded a team predominantly full of youngsters, a certain Flynn Downs, Andre Dezelle, Tristan Nydam, and of course current squad and Premier League player Luke Wolfenden were in the squad that day. We did lose 2-1. Selena scored, I think it was about the 90th minute. I think we were 2-0 down. I think they scored quite late on as well. And then Selena scored what was actually his debut for the season, because I think he had like a bit of an illness or an injury or something that kept him out. So that was actually his first Town appearance of that season. But it was a good performance. I remember that game. I remember seeing that game on a dodgy link. I couldn't get down to Selhurst Park that day. But, I thought the young guns put in a good display. I was really impressed with at the time Nydam, and I think a lot of us were. Was expecting it, and obviously he then went on to make a few more appearances in the Championship. So that's obviously the last time we played him there, and then the last time we actually beat him, you gotta go back all the way to April 2013. I think it was April, but April 2013. Mr. Clack, big up the legend that is Frank Nuble. Obviously, Mr. Clack, for everyone that knows, he got a double. And Aaron Creswell, if I remember correctly, I think we had that nice little, people call it the Barcelona style playing move. I think it was that game, wasn't it, where Creswell had a really good goal. But Creswell made it 3-0. And that's the last time we beat him. And then when I think of that Palace team, obviously had the likes of Johnny Williams, who then later joined Town. I think it was the following season, actually. He joined us on loan. You had Glenn Murray, obviously good goal scorer. Wilfred Zaha, obviously, was coming through the ranks. Actually, was quite established at that point, wasn't he? Yannick Balassi, what a player he was. And there was another player that Palace had who then went on to join Ipswich Town and become a bit of a cult hero. Can you tell me who it is? Put the answers in the comments. But yeah, that was the last time we actually beat him. So like I said, you got to go back to 2013. That's 11 years ago. And hopefully tomorrow that all changes. So yeah, in our last 5 meetings, there's been 1 draw. We've won 1, but Palace have won 3. So, current form, if we can call it current, because like I said, the last meeting was in 2017. But current form is firmly with Palace, although the head-to-head overall is with us. And then last time we played them in the Prem, there's only been 4 meetings between Crystal Palace and Ipswich Town in the Premier League. You got to go back to the early 90s for that. Last time we actually played each other in the Premier League, you've got to go back to February. Was it February? I think it was February 1995, where it finished Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 2. So that was a home loss. And off those 4 meetings in the Premier League, Palace have won 3 and we've got 1 draw. That draw go all the way back to 1992, and it was good old Jason Dazelle on the double for Town that day. I think Chris Coleman was on the score sheet for him. And then both of those games, you had former England and former Wales managers Chris Coleman and Gareth Southgate for Crystal Palace. But yeah, it was it's not been good luck for us in the Premier League against Crystal Palace. So that first win in the Premier League is definitely due. So Palace, obviously, they've got Oliver Glasner who came and joined them. Was it halfway through the season he took over? And they had quite a strong end to the campaign last season. So I guess expectations would have been higher coming in to this season from where they are now. I don't think Palace fans would have thought that they'd be in a relegation scrap. And I know, obviously, they had to get rid of Elise, and they sold him for good money. Who actually, I think he come off the bench yesterday for Bayern and got an assist, and they got a point, didn't they, against Dortmund? But yeah, they had to kind of replace him. I don't know if they've done that. I know they bought Nketiah, and it's, again, different position and all the rest of it. But I don't think he's really hit the ground running. But they have got some dangerous players, and I think they've been unlucky with injury because some of their star players. If you look at Eze as an example, he's probably one of their star players. Really good player, good at getting forward. I think he can play with both feet, not afraid to shoot, and really puts defenders on the back foot. He's had a few injuries, so I don't think he's featured too much. I could be wrong. Palace fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's featured too much. And Adam Wharton, very good midfielder, highly rated. Talking about the next generation and the next class coming through for the England team. He's a player that will be playing for England in years to come. But I think he's been out injured and he may miss tomorrow's game. And then Mark Gay, obviously, he's a fantastic defender. My FPL name is called Buttigieg Salah, or Buttigieg Salah, if you like. If you've seen the film, Bollywood film called Sholay, you'll understand. But yeah, he's he had a bit of a slow start. Obviously, he had that big transfer that didn't really go through to Newcastle. So I don't know. His head might have been and all the rest of it, but he's coming to the team again and he's performing. Obviously, as a whole, Palace just seem a bit disjointed and maybe unlucky with injuries. They've obviously got that Mateta, I can't remember how you pronounce his name up front, but he plays up front. And that Sarr, he plays on the other wing as well, and again, very similar to what Eze can offer in terms of putting defenders on the back foot. In terms of formation, it looks like they set up with a 3-4-3 with those wing backs. And then obviously with the two at the top kind of supporting that striker role. So here's the lineup and formation they had against Newcastle. As you can see, it's that 3-4-3. That front three looks really good. Obviously they've got, I know he hasn't scored, but they've got Nketiah who can come off the bench, and he's another player that, full of pace, full of energy. So they have got options from the bench. And of course, Trevor Chalobah, once upon a time at Ipswich Town. We all remember that goal at Swansea away in that relegation season. It wasn't his fault we got relegated. We were just bad, and he was probably one of our better players in that relegation season. So it'll be good to see him back at Portman Road, and hopefully he gets a warm reception. But yeah, looking at Palace, unless maybe Adam Wharton's fit again, then maybe Will Hughes would drop out. But otherwise, that's the kind of team I'd be expecting Palace to put out tomorrow night. So here's the team we had out against Forest on Saturday. Obviously, it's been confirmed now that Axel is out with a hamstring injury. How severe that is, we don't know just yet. He is getting the scan, or had the scan today. So Harry Clark, I think he'll come in. Ben Johnson would probably be the natural deputy, but I think he may still be out injured. If he is injured, then it's going to be Harry Clark, because obviously he come off the bench for Axel on Saturday. And then Greaves, who's obviously come back from a hamstring injury himself. So I'm not sure whether he goes straight back in. I was expecting him to start against Forest. So, it's a quick turnaround. Maybe this is the game that you put Jacob Greaves in. So maybe he comes in for Cam Burgess. Is that harsh on Burgess? Yes, possibly. But, we spent quite a bit of money on Greaves. So I'm sure we'll be wanting to play him and he'll be starting anyway. And look, Cam's been a fantastic deputy. And if needed, as he's proved time and time again, he can step up and lead that defensive line and be the leader on the pitch and the starting centre back as well. Phillips, obviously, he should be fit. Jens obviously looked a bit tired as he come off, so maybe Phillips starts with Sammy and then Jens comes on later. And then I would keep the front four the same as well. I would have Amari, Chaplin, and Schmodix. We've then got the likes of Broadhead that can come off the bench. Wes Burns as well, who I think has had a good couple of games recently as well against United and Forest. So it adds a bit more depth and a bit more creative options from the bench as well, should we need to switch it up. So the man in the middle tomorrow night is Mr. Craig Pawson. Hailing from South Yorkshire, the referee has had over 200 Premier League appearances, or officiate. Do you call them appearances if they're a referee? I don't know. Appearances. So he's had over 200 appearances as a Premier League referee. He's done UEFA. I think he's done Champions League, and I think he's done the international tournaments as well. So a wealth of experience behind him. He's only officiated for Ipswich Town or against Ipswich Town, depending on how you look at it, a total of 6 times. Those 6 times have been 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. And the last time he officiated for us or against us was in that relegation season back in October 2018 at Leeds United away. We lost 2-0 and Hurst was sacked shortly after. Whereas with Palace, he's officiated for them a total of 28 times. The last time he did officiating was December 2023. That was against Bournemouth. I think Palace v Bournemouth at Selhurst Park, which ended 2-0 to Bournemouth. Controversy. There was some controversy for him. So I think he got demoted from UEFA in, was it March, April or something for his performance, if you like. And then there was some controversy in the Newcastle and Everton game this season with the penalty shouts. And I think Warnock once said that he's got an agenda against Everton. And he doesn't seem to be too card happy. I didn't get a chance to get the full stats on his cards and that. But just a brief overview, it looked like he seemed to be all right. So, stats-wise, he looked very similar to what we've seen with Anthony Taylor. So I'm hoping we see the same performance that we saw with Anthony Taylor against Manchester United that we will see with Craig Pawson tomorrow night. So in terms of predictions and how I expect the game to go, look, Palace have a lot of talent in their team. Yes, they're down there and, they're in the relegation scrap with us. Yes, we're on the same points and it's goal difference separating us, them and Wolves. But they've got the talent and they've got depth within that squad. They've got some people that they can bring off the bench to really make that change. It's going to be a tough test. Just because we put in a good performance against Manchester United and Spurs doesn't automatically mean that we're going to put in a great performance against Palace. As we've seen against Nottingham Forest, we started off bright, but then, it just takes one bad judgment or one mistake or whatever, and the game can easily pass you by, because very much like how Forest were on Saturday, in terms of they were, I wouldn't say desperate, but they really wanted that clean sheet. So once they went ahead, they made it very hard for us to break them down. Like I said, they were very compact. And if you haven't seen it already, go check out the Forest review, which I did drop out late last night. So a lot of you probably missed it. But Palace, obviously, there is going to be pressure on them. So if they do get a chance to go ahead, I think they'll make it very hard for us to break down. And we can keep passing the ball around on the edge of the area, but at one point in time, someone's going to have a shot. So I don't think it's going to be, oh, we're going to smash them 3-0 or whatever this. But I do feel that, there'll be a reaction from what happened on Saturday. I know there'll be some changes. But at home, as we've shown time and time again, we're a different beast. And I think if we get Portman Road rocking, which I know we can, right? Because I know all you legends are going to be there cheering on the team. I'll be there. I'm going to try and finish work a bit early and if I can get there before 4:30, then I don't need to pay £15 for the bloody parking. That's another conversation. But yeah, I have a feeling the place will be rocking and we'll back the team like we have done time and time again. And if they go ahead, that's when we really need to get behind the team because we're going to have to try and break them down. But I do feel confident. So I'm going for a 2-1 Town win. So yeah, man, hopefully that's giving you some insight into the game. Like I said, I'm going to put the vlog out tomorrow night when I get back. So it will be up late. We're talking like if the game finishes 9:30, time we get out of 10. I'll be back about 12, maybe half 12, so that it might go up about 1-ish. Maybe I'll try and do it while I'm sitting in the car park instead. We'll see. But yeah, that will go out tomorrow night, and then the match review will go out on Wednesday, and then on Friday we'll be dropping the Bournemouth preview. Like I said, man, the videos, we're up in it, man. I told you once we hit 1,000 subscribers, which we did, the content will keep rolling, and that's what we're doing, man. And big up all you legends that have subscribed. And if you haven't, please do, man. It is free. It don't cost you anything. And why would you not want to subscribe and see this beautiful brown face? But yeah, man, tell your friends. Let's get to 5K subscribers by the end of the season. And put your thoughts in, man. Let me know what you think. How do you think, we're going to do against Palace? And if you're a Palace fan, have you found this useful in terms of a bit of info about Ipswich? And what are your thoughts as a Palace fan? Do you think that you're going to turn up and just take 3 points of us, or is it going to be a bit of a tougher test? But yeah, man, looking forward to it. If you're there tomorrow, make sure you sing your hearts out and back the lads for the 90, 95, 100, however many minutes there's going to be. Because tomorrow really is a must win. We've got to now start getting those wins. And no disrespect to Crystal Palace. I know we've talked about how good they are, but this is a game that we should, especially at home, we should be looking to win. But yeah, man, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Later, peeps.